Hello guys and welcome to my channel. Today we will be talking about how we can use thread pool threads for executing our work. So as you remember that in previous videos we saw how can we create threads manually, and then we used thread class to create our threads, and then we will be giving it and delegate object thread start if we needed nothing to pass, or we used parameterized thread start if we wanted to give some input to our thread method. But the thread pool with the thread pool we can use threads from the thread pool which is created by the runtime. So runtime creates some threads, make them available for you to use, and then you can just queue your work to the work item queue of that thread pool, and then one of the available threads from the thread pool will pick that work item and execute that. So it's like you can think about simple in simply this is like you have a thread pool which have some threads dot 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 T1, T2, T3, and then you have a work queue. So what you do, you just queue your work item into this queue by one of the methods, one of the static methods from thread pool class. And then if whenever any of the threads will be available, that thread will pick your work item and will execute it. So let's see. So thread pool class has static methods, lot of static methods equals get available threads. You can retrieve how many threads are in the thread pool, or you can have get max thread, retrieve how maximum threads available, how many work items you can put into the queue, and so on, and some other methods. But the most important method of this class is queue user work item. This method actually has two overloads, and the first one is wait callback. Wait callback is a delegate which returns void. We can check it out. Wait callback. It returns void, and it has parameter of type objects. It's similar to its signature is exactly similar to the parameterized thread state delegate which we used when we created our thread manually. And wc equals to new, and then we need a method which will return void and will take object as an argument. So we can create here private static void print ob object MSG like this, and then we can pass print here, and then we queue it with wc. And remember, the we are not passing any argument here. If we don't pass anything, this argument will be null will be passed, so it will be null. If you want to pass something, then you just use the another overload of this, and then you pass that state, and that will be passed to this print method. Now we are not passing anything, we just want to see, then we can just print our date and time cw date time dot now, and then we can sleep thread dot sleep, and let's see, and here we go. One thing to remember is all the thread pool threads are by default background threads. All thread pool threads are background threads. So, and you know what background threads are, we talked about in our first video of this series. So background threads will die when the main thread, which is which is main method, which main method finishes, all the background threads will be killed. But foreground threads are the threads which keeps the process alive even though the main thread is dead. We can also pass a parameter string msg equals to hello, like this, and then we pass it msg. It's an object, we can pass whatever, and then we can msg. You see, now it's printing date and time and hello. Yeah, what else about thread pool? It actually returns bool, so it may fail. It may fail, so you can check the result also. Normally will not fail, but can fail. Um, yeah, we can check out all back thread pool threads are background. We can print it out and see. Actually, we can see this. Then we can thread dot current thread is background. True, and you can change it. You can make it foreground or access. Another thing is with thread pool threads that you cannot actually, you don't have reference. Like when we created manually thread, when we created thread like thread t1 equals to new thread, then we had this reference to this thread which we could use later on to do whatever we wanted to do, join or whatever. But now we don't have. So if you need those kind of things, then you can use thread class to create your threads manually. Otherwise, for basic things like running some simple tasks, it's always good to use thread pool threads. Yes, so it was all about the thread pool. I think we will see or we will talk something more about threads or some other things in our next video. And until then, thank you and stay safe. Bye for now.